What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be ripping apart this bad boy. So what we need to do is get a new oil pump, and I'm going to go ahead and do a timing chain and everything on this. So what we got to do is take our oil pump, oil pan, not pumps over here. We got to take our oil pan off, which are 8 mil? 6 mil. 6 mil Allen keys, and I do need to take this mount bracket off because it looks like it might hit if I take the oil sump off, which is not a big deal. I'll go ahead and take this off, clean it up, and I might actually paint these black. Haven't decided. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do right now. We've got all these and then the two in the back. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this apart, and then we'll see how she looks underneath. So we got the oil pan removed. Everything looks to be okay. I don't see any metal shavings, nothing. I think I pulled the car off the road at a good time. The only issue, and if you guys have watched the series, I'll tell you what we did, but we have one of the bolts slightly making an indentation in the pickup tube, which is this one here, which, if you guys remember, in the instructions to put this pan on the SR20 for the Miata swap, it actually says to check all of these to make sure none of them are hitting the actual pickup tube, or the pickup, it's not really a tube, but the channel. And we did shave this one down because we had issues with it hitting, but we need to shave it down more because it's making this indentation. That is the only one that's giving us trouble. So we'll have to take that off and shave it flat. It's really this right side that's hitting, but we're just going to probably do the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll do the entire thing.
But that seems to be the only issue. There's no cracking or anything, so that's good. It didn't break through the channel, which would have been bad. But yeah, just looking at everything, it seems to look clean and okay. Pretty much like when we did it the first time.
Yeah. And then actually, just as kind of a point of reference, setting the pan on there, we can actually, so if you look right here, we can actually lower your oil stick because it does make contact.
Oh yeah, just slightly, so we'll do that too, yep.
Yeah, I'll trim that down just a little bit more, but other than that, we were pretty spot on with the measurements on that.
So we're just going to take those off real quick, and then we're going to get to work on getting the actual oil pump timing cover assembly off.
One of the next steps that we need to do is we are going to take the cam angle sensor out. Once that is out, there is 2 bolts down here. You can see that one right there and another one. It's, well, directly underneath that. We're going to take these off, and then we should be able to pull this right out, speaking we've got everything else out.
So now that we have the newer style bolts for the newer style timing chain guides, we can actually install the timing chain guides and timing chain itself. So I was waiting on these to come in. Since mine has the OEM ones, the bolts are a little different because they changed them over time, and the guides themselves as well. So we have the updated version, and we've got it's all OEM parts. We've got our OEM oil seal O-ring for the new oil pump and timing chain cover. So we're gonna get everything put back together with new pieces, put our cams and rocker arms and everything back on, and get this baby ready to go back in the bag. just cleaning the surface to make the oil pump tube. And it's just gotta clean all this up. And then we're gonna throw the timing chain on. We got our bolts torqued down to about 12 to 15 foot-pounds. Alright, so Tyler's got the surface area all cleaned up. I've got the O-ring back in for the oil pump. And then I've got these tightened down. And we're gonna install the timing chain itself right now. Right here, OEM. All the parts I got were OEM parts, including the O-ring itself. I just don't want to take any chances on aftermarket stuff. The oil pump is also OEM. But yeah, let's go ahead and install this and get the cams and everything taken care of and put the rockers and all that back in. So the yellow mark here on the chain actually goes on this little dot right here on the sprocket. And then on the cams, cam gears, the dots are going on the slightly darker shade on both of them. You'll see two. And there's two dots. So we're going to try and line everything up. I top dead center and everything. So let's go ahead and get that done. Yellow mark lined up with the little notch down here on the bottom sprocket. Got it going through both guides and up to the cams. I've got this one on that, this one on this little mark, and then the engine's at top dead center. If you guys see something wrong with what we did, please let me know, because the engine isn't going in right away, or at least we're not going to be starting it right away. We do need to put it in to test fit some stuff, but that comes later. So let's go ahead and get the caps back on and the rocker arm stoppers on here. There is a way you have to tighten them specifically to get them on correctly so it doesn't warp anything. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Get everything torqued down with our fancy new torque wrench because the old one broke. And yeah, so let's get that done. I'm going to tighten it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So technically to tighten these, you'll want to do 1.4 foot-pounds first in that sequence. And then 4.3 foot-pounds in that sequence, and then it says 6.5 to 8 foot-pounds as the last sequence, and that's what they're supposed to be tightened to.
Which just does not sound right to me. Because I swear the last time we did this,
I feel like it was
like
higher than that.
18 at least. I know it's not like a bunch of weight on this, but
yeah,
something more than 6 pounds.
We don't have a 3/8 torque wrench, like a small one. So Tyler's just kind of going to do it by hand, and if we do end up grabbing one, we'll go ahead and come back in and take the valve cover off. I still don't have the valve cover gasket or anything in, so we can still come back in and make sure they're torqued to spec. These are on this side until I get my smaller torque wrench, and then we can actually torque these down. But we're going to go ahead and do this side now. cams back on, and then we were like, oh, in order to put the oil pump cover on, which is the whole reason why we took these off, as well as getting the timing chain off, there's a bolt that goes just under this here, and you can't get it in with this on. So now we just have to remove this side, I think, and we'll be able to drop that bolt in to get the oil pump on and everything. So, you know, we do things like 2 or 3 times.
On average.
Yep, usually. But you learn things as you go and you try and remember everything. But we got everything pretty much done. So now, yeah, the timing and everything is done. So what we're going to do is put the oil pump on, and we got our new seal on here. So I'm going to go grab the new pump. Tyler's going to remove these bolts up here so we can remove this. We might have to remove this one in order to get the timing chain off. Not sure. We will keep you updated. So there is a sequence that Tyler is following in order to loosen that. Alright, so here's the OEM oil pump. So we're going to get this put on. Comes with a new main seal, so that's good. We have our gasket maker from Permatex. Okay, so we were actually able just to take this side off and fish it out this way as I held the timing chain up and Tyler kind of swooped it down and got it out. We shouldn't have to take this one off. It looks like the bolt is, you can get to it without taking this off. The only problem is we're going to have to tie this up so it doesn't fall off like it is down here, because once we put the oil pump on, you're not going to be able to access this, so we're going to do that right now. So we've got the bottom of the oil pan all cleaned up to be put back on the block. The bottom of the block is clean. Tyler's going to be putting on the red Permatex. And then we're going to torque the oil pan down. And it's going to be great. So we've got our oil pickup spacer and new O-rings back in. Everything fits up good. We've got this bolt shaved down a little bit more so it doesn't make a dent in the oil pickup line like it was right here. So everything is going back on. We've got the oil pump back on, except one of our bolts stripped out. So I just need to buy one more bolt. I don't have one. So that's the only thing here. Other than that, timing and camshaft and the main caps are all torqued down and all good to go. This is the only thing that needs to be put on. And then we'll clean up the block, put the engine mount brackets back on, and then do a mock-up in the engine. That way we can start fabricating things inside the engine.
Engine bay.
Engine bay. Not engine. This is engine. This is engine bay. Don't get confused.
This is my bay. I'm bay to my bay. All right, so what I'm doing now is tightening this down in stages. The stock oil sump torque specs says to go to 12 to 14 foot-pounds. So I just did 80 inch-pounds. Now I'm going to 100 and then 120, which is 10 foot-pounds, and then I'll just keep going up from there in stages.